The YouTube Red Series Ultimate Expedition is a 10-episode series that has a bunch of celebrities trying to scale the nearly 20,000-foot Mount Toclarahu in Peru. And one of those contestants sitting to my right here, former UFC light heavyweight champion Chuck Liddell. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you.
You made it, huh?
I'm here.
Well, that's not a spoiler alert, right? That you made it through the episodes.
We made it through the episodes. I'm like, I can't let you know you're going to have to watch the show to see how we did.
Right. But what would that, how would this rank in terms of degrees of difficulty of things that you've entertained in your career, your life, Chuck?
Altitude is an interesting thing. I've never been that high before. And I was also coming off of, I had an injury and I was, rehabbing it. And when we first got the call for the show, I thought it started to shoot at the end of October. Mm-hmm. And I said, yeah, sure, that's fine. I got about 3 months to train for it. I'm ready to go. I'll be ready to go when it comes around. And I was talking to my manager and she said, no, it's in 2 weeks. I'm like, oh, well, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, well, why not? Let's do it. It's a good way to get back in shape.
Okay. So you did it.
So I did it, yeah.
And you made it through. And what did you learn about yourself?
Did
you learn anything about yourself? Because normally people who go through an experience like this discover something. Yeah,
the biggest thing for me is that I don't want to take time off anymore. I retired and I was kind of lost for a little while and didn't really know what I really wanted to do. I was having a great time with my family, doing a lot of things, but it was, I didn't have that drive. I didn't have anything. You need goals. You need to be working towards something. And, for me, it was a wake up call and a kick in the butt to get back in shape and start working toward things.
Mm-hmm. Well, is there something you could tell me what you're working toward right now?
Well, I'm working towards a lot of things. I got something signed coming up pretty big pretty soon.
Okay.
So, but I can't let you know that yet, but it's coming.
You're full of spoiler alerts, man. There's a ton of spoiler alerts right now, Chuck. I'm getting the whole situation. Look, I'm glad that you discovered that because I've been around a bunch of retired athletes, and certainly the guys who I deal with the most are NFL players who sometimes are age 25, 26, trying to figure out what to do. I've been around Hall of Famers who are 31, 32 sometimes when they retire and they don't know what's coming next.
It's really a tough thing. You go through your whole life with this goal. I always had the next game, the next fight, the next something for 30 years. Growing up, playing football, playing wrestling, fighting, always had that thing out there. And then all of a sudden you don't have to do anything. Mm-hmm. It's a freedom, but then it's kind of like there's nothing to drive you. It's kind of, and I was trying to do a lot of different things, but there just wasn't that one thing that kept me under control. And for me, that's not a good thing. And I've always talked about mental toughness. It's one of those things that can start. It started slipping away. I thought because I've always said it's mental toughness is an everyday thing. It's you can't just turn it on and turn it off when you want to. Mm-hmm. You have to always do it. And so I was going for a run up a hill with a friend of mine. We weren't supposed to be running, but they started running as we started racing. And I was flagging a little bit, but I was chasing them, and it went through my mind, should I stop? Mm-hmm. Which has never happened to me. That's not something that's normal for me. My brain just goes, you can't stop, you have to beat him.
Right.
So if he might be able to beat me, but he's gonna have to beat me when I fall down and I can't go anymore, is my normal reaction. But after having that time off and kind of letting think, I don't have to go work out, I don't have to go to the gym, I don't have to do this, I don't have to do that, it made it a lot easier to actually have that cross my mind. Now I made the right decision and I actually won the race up the hill.
Oh, okay.
So
you didn't fall down and couldn't go on anymore.
But still, the fact that it crossed my mind really bothered me. So
interesting. Chuck Liddell here on the Rich Eisen Show. What do you miss most about fighting?
I miss everything about fighting. I mean, I miss fight week. I miss cutting weight. I miss everything. I mean, I loved fighting. I got paid a lot of money to do what I love for a living. So I can't say there's anything that I don't miss.
So is there a part of you that may want to even entertain the idea of coming back?
I've entertained it. I'm entertaining it. I mean, a couple of people have been running their mouths a lot, but so they bring enough money, they offer me enough money, I'm more than happy to shut those mouths.
Well, it's interesting that you would say that because we had a guest on Tuesday's show who was running his mouth because, I brought your name up. It's not like he didn't, but here's what Chael Sonnen had to say when he was here yesterday. I've noticed you and Chuck Liddell have kind of gone back and forth on social media. Would you like to leave him a note? I could dictate it.
No, I will tell you this. Chuck seems to be a very nice guy. He's got a good reputation. I hear he treats people well. He's got to walk around town with a haircut that looks like he lost a bet, and I wish Chuck the best.
Should I write that down? And
You
then
can write that down.
That?
I don't know if he could read it. It's not dictating it for him, Rich. It's the fact that you'd have to read it to him and then explain it beyond that. But no, I don't have any business with Chuck. He had flirted with the idea that he was going to come back, and so he was in my crosshairs. But he's not coming back.
Okay, a couple things. One is he doesn't need. He kind of likes to talk a lot of trash without having actual facts. I think he actually said he's not worried about what right or wrong facts. I mean, he said I was offered fights and turned them down. I think was one of his big ones, which is definitely not true. No one's ever offered me a fight with him. And he's good at running his mouth, and that's what he got good at because he's a boring fighter. He's a lay and pray. He's not interesting to watch. He's not fun to watch unless the other guy's making it fun. But so yeah, he's like I said before, he'd be an easy comeback fight for me if they want to give me that one. That one's he's got pillows for hands, so it's all good.
Okay, so would you take a fight against him?
Yeah, they're willing to pay enough. Yeah.
What about going into a boxing ring? Would you ever do something like that? Since that seems to be the switching everything up, back moments that we're seeing.
Back in the day, we were talking with Holyfield's guys about doing a kickboxing match.
No kidding.
And meeting in the middle and doing kickboxing. And actually, I was just talking to Bosch Rutten, and he said they were talking to him at the same time about it. But that would be interesting for me. I mean, with some of these, if they paid enough money, I'm a fighter, man. I'll box. I'll get in there and box with you too. But I'd like it to be kickboxing, so I have a lot better shot at winning the fight.
So, because that's part of the thing that was going down with Mayweather and McGregor too, is it just seemed to be like such apples and oranges,
Yeah, and that was a circus, but it's all right. It's great. The thing is that people are always comparing boxing striking with MMA striking. They're two different things. You can't stand in the same stance. You can't. The timing's different. Everything's different moving from boxing to kickboxing. And then moving kickboxing to MMA is even more different. So, if you stand in a boxing stance against me in a kickboxing match, you have maybe a round and a half to knock me out. After that, you're not going to be able to put enough pressure on your front leg to knock me out. So, it's apples and oranges. You can't strike the same way you do. There's a lot of similarities, but you can't strike the same way you do in boxing as you do in MMA.
Chuck Liddell here on the Rich Eisen Show. How long do you think Mayweather would have lasted in an octagon with McGregor?
Not long at all. I used to tell him when he was back in the day when he was talking trash to me. I used to tell him I have a 135 pounder at my house that you wouldn't make it out of the first round with. So it would be ugly. He's going to get taken down and he won't get up. If you haven't, even a leg kick, even if McGregor could leg kick,
yes,
it'd be a big trouble for him.
Which other athlete from other endeavors? Because you're a popular guy. People have been rooting for you for quite some time. Do you think would have the ability to become a fighter? Which one do you see that you've come across? Not named Jay Glazer, obviously. But who else would that be?
Jay has problems with conditioning. He has a hard time with that altitude training. It's one of those things he has a big problem with.
Right.
But, athlete, I'd like to see Gronk get in there. I love watching him play, man. He's a beast out there on the field. But he's such a good athlete.
How would you train Gronk? How would you say that Gronk could win something?
Well, I just think his athletic ability. Give me an athlete.
Sure.
A guy's got good athletic ability and a guy that can take a punch.
Great hands too.
Yeah, great hands. Give me a guy
used to contact.
Fast. Used to contact. He can take a hit. Give me a guy. I always said, give me an athlete and I can teach him how to fight.
Is he too tall though?
For fighting, no.
Okay.
Height is great.
Okay.
If you learn how to use it, use your length, use your distance.
So how about LeBron then?
LeBron's a great athlete too. All these guys, but it takes a long time to teach the stuff that we do. So it's not that easy to transfer from one sport to the other. But I can teach. I feel like I can teach anybody that's a great athlete and can take a punch.
Yeah.
I can teach them how to fight.
Okay. Well, look, I look forward to seeing Ultimate Expedition on YouTube Red. Again, premieres today. So you can get to your computer right now and check that out, or all the apps that can just pop it right there on your television. And I look forward, Chuck, to hearing what your news is that you're saying, is coming. Look forward to hearing all that.
All right.
I appreciate it. And thanks for coming on. Come back anytime.
Thanks for having me.
You bet. That's Chuck Liddell. Check out him on Twitter at Chuck Liddell, and check him out on YouTube Red Series Ultimate Expedition today.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.